Four years ago, I embarked on a journey to build my dream car. Since high school, I've been fascinated with big engines and little cars, but more specifically, the all-around thrilling performance of a V8 Roadster. Many of you watching this video came along for that ride, which made the build so fun and rewarding, even to this day. But one thing I've learned over the years is that while owning and driving an LS3 powered Miata is like having your own personal roller coaster, it's not terribly practical on a daily basis. What if we could capture the V8 powered Roadster spirit of Project Thunderbolt and pour it all into something much more useful, like a truck? I mean, wouldn't it be awesome to have a vehicle that could offer the same kind of thrill as a 500 horsepower Miata, but with more daily driven utility? Well, that's just what we're gonna do. Introducing Project Firebolt. The platform for this build is my 2002 Toyota Tacoma. Just like Thunderbolt, I searched long and hard for the right vehicle to start with, and I found this one-owner, low-mileage truck for sale locally that was bought new at a dealership right down the road. This Tacoma is the first truck I've ever owned, and while I love what it has to offer in here and here, I'm not too crazy about what's under here. But we can fix that. While a naturally aspirated LS engine like we have in Thunderbolt would be great, this is the Turbo Garage, and I've been wanting to experience a turbocharged LS for a long time. Over the years, many magazines and websites have covered the topic of turbocharging the LS, but the most influential and inspiring stuff I've seen is from the Sloppy Mechanics YouTube channel. Matt's videos are honest, upfront, and he shares every single detail of his builds. This type of transparency is rare and is a huge help to the car community. I find that his videos are excellent confidence builders, especially if you're not familiar with the ins and outs of the LS engine family. If you're interested in making big horsepower on a budget with combos that have been proven time and time again, I highly recommend you check out what Matt is doing over there. So here's the plan. I want to start with a running, but well broken in, Gen 3 5.3 liter iron block V8 engine. To breathe some new life into this old beast, we'll freshen it up with a host of simple but proven upgrades. This will give us a solid foundation for this. A big old turbocharger pumping in the boost that these engines welcome with open arms. To complement our power-making efforts, we'll have a supporting cast of proper air, fuel, and exhaust items. Backing up our boosted 5.3 will be a built 4L80E transmission, and further out back will be a Ford 8.8 differential to put the power to the ground. So that's the plan for Project Firebolt. We're giving this radiant red Tacoma some serious pickup by feeding it a big helping of tire-scorching, turbocharged V8 heat under the hood. Okay, enough planning, let's get to work. Our first job is to find a good used iron block 5.3 LS engine. Finding a used LS engine can be a little overwhelming at first. There's a huge supply of them out there, and you can find them for sale in many places, some more legit than others. Also, it's important to get familiar with the different versions of the engine, as there are important changes that took place as the years went by and the engine was fitted to different applications. This web tool from Summit Racing is really helpful, especially if you're just getting started. I decided to work with a local salvage yard for a few reasons. First, because I wanted to see the vehicle that the engine came from. Second, I could check the VIN number of that vehicle to make sure I was getting the engine I wanted. And finally, I could hear it run before it was pulled. So after a little hunting, here's our engine. This is exactly what I was looking for, a completely stock, untouched, dirty as heck 5.3 iron block that spent its mundane life plodding around in a 2001 Chevy Suburban. Let's haul this dirty lump back to the Turbo Garage so we can hopefully give it an exciting new chapter in its life. Alright, we made it. Man, why didn't I get a truck sooner? Hauling engines around and stuff is fun. Let's unload this beast. With the engine out of the truck, it's time to get it set up for its cozy new home, the engine stand. I like to attach the head plate to the engine by itself, then once I have that adjusted how I like, join it up with the base of the stand. Let's take a closer look at what we've got here. This 5.3-liter LM7 V8 spent the first 18 years of its life under the hood of your average 9th-generation Chevy Suburban 1500 four-wheel drive. When new, the engine was rated at 285 horsepower at 5,200 RPM and 325 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM. Known in Chevy's marketing lingo as the Vortec 5300, most folks know them under the generic term of an LS, since they do belong to the LS family architecture. More discerning enthusiasts will call this version the truck motor, since GM bolted these into a staggering amount of trucks, vans, and SUVs. While this engine is considered garden variety and very common, it was quite innovative at the time of its introduction. The Generation 3 small block engine was a clean sheet design, built for durability, longevity, and efficient power delivery across a variety of uses. It also offered a host of interesting features like lightweight aluminum heads, coil on-plug ignition, advanced engine control, great fuel economy, and my favorite feature, an extremely strong engine block that just so happens to love boost, even at an advanced age like this one. All of that good stuff comes in a nice, compact package too. Alright, our first job is to get this dirty old 5.3 all torn down so we can get it all cleaned up. Let's get to it. Hey everybody, so this just fell out. I hope it wasn't important. With the accessories out of the way, the true filthiness is realized. I picked a dirty one. Ugh. To tackle this big, nasty job, I gathered up a host of my go-to degreasers, parts cleaning chemicals, brushes, and plenty of safety stuff. With the engine out here in the sun, it looks 10 times filthier than it did under the garage lights. Ew! To get the worst of the crud out of the way, I'm starting with a strong concentrate of this degreaser. I suppose I should read this. Oh boy. I'll give you the short version. This stuff will kill you twice. Be careful. In most areas, the degreaser needed a little help with the brush. I tell ya, I've cleaned some dirty engine stuff over the years, but this 5.3 wins the filth contest hands down. After lots of spraying, scrubbing, and brushing, I brought out the pressure washer to blast this grime into oblivion. Alright, well that's a huge improvement. Still lots of little grimy spots, but we'll tackle those as we go. Tearing this engine down will be much easier without the thick, sludgy outer shell that it had before. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Summit Racing for making this video series possible. Please drop them a line on social media if you enjoyed this video. I would appreciate it very much. Also, don't forget to come hang out with me on any of these spots. I'd love to hear from you over there. In the next episode, we'll continue tearing down the engine in order to prepare it for the upcoming turbo mods. So with that said, thanks again, folks. We'll see you next time.